So this is a story from Breitbart, and having difficulties to just trust an outlet or outright like there isn't really any outlets that are really center or even center left that I really read out and trust in any regards. And so I'm reading a Breitbart article. In this day and age, the only ones that I really can somewhat trust. It pains me to say this, but it's what it is Fox News, Daily Wire, to an extent Daily Caller, Breitbart, and so center left or right wing. Sorry, not center left, center right or right wing outlets. And so this is me looking at an article called "Washington Post Correction: Nathan Phillips was never deployed to Vietnam." The Washington Post has walked back claims about military record of Nathan Phillips, a Native American activist at the center of a national controversy captured on a video at Friday's Women's March in Washington, D.C. In a January 20th report titled "It Was Getting Ugly," Native American drummer speaks on his encounter with MAGA hat-wearing teens. The Post Cleve R. Woodson Jr., Antonio Olivo, and Joey Heim erroneously stated Phillips is a veteran of the Vietnam War despite having not been deployed. Interesting that Washington Post leave those kind of details out, isn't it? No, isn't it? And let's continue. On Tuesday, news of the report correction began circulating social media. Earlier versions of this story incorrectly said that Native American activist Nathan Phillips fought in the Vietnam War. Phillips served in the U.S. Marines from 1972 to 1976, but was never deployed to Vietnam. The correction reads, "The update does not have a time or date stamp." Yeah, that's ethics for you. The latest blunder follows a string of missteps by the establishment media who rushed to condemn a group of Covington Catholic high school students for their behavior during a confrontation with Phillips on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Now, I have to correct Breitbart here. It wasn't really a confrontation. It was an old man basically going into a crowd of children, teenagers, and them, as I uploaded it earlier today, they didn't really understand. They were confused what was happening, but it was clear what their motivations was to get this outrage. And no one, I was even called a Nazi on Twitter for posting the video and pointing that these lies by mainstream media were incorrect, that they were lies. And so, but it wasn't a confrontation, but it's leftist regressive outrage to be outraged at teenagers, at minors. There, you have people on Twitter. There are celebs. I will go into detail with that as well in another video. But celebs and prominent people going after these students with no fact or evidence to back anything they say up. At first, the focus was on short video showing one of the high school students, Nick Sandman, wearing a red "Make America Great Again" hat and a pink smile, while a crowd of other teens laughed behind him as he stood next to the 64-year-old Native American who played a traditional chant on a drum. Yeah. They just went into this crowd of teenagers who were waiting for the bus and tried to make full outrage, and they got it. They got what they wanted. Pull back further, and a different view emerged. However, in a separate video showing members of a group calling itself Black Hebrew Israelites taunting everyone on the mall that day, calling Native Americans who had gathered there for Indigenous Peoples March Uncle Tomahawks and $5 Indians, and the high school students crackers and worse. Additional footage shows the Black Hebrew Israelites calling students racist bastard, little dirty ass crackers, and child molesting. I can't say that word because YouTube. likes to censor things, and I don't want to risk my channel. So it's a bundle of sticks. You can associate with what you will. But yeah, it was an ugly encounter of spewed epithets, but one that nevertheless ended with no punches thrown or other violence. You should also be added that they told these children to go back to Europe, among other things. Why wasn't this reported by media? Oh, isn't that interesting? So these children were abused and being called racist things, and the media ignores it and defend racists and people who knew fully well what they were doing, and to create this outrage. So again, how does the regressive left how are they for tolerance? How are they for inclusion? They say, we need to be nice to everyone. We need to call everyone by their pronouns. We need to accept everyone, except if they're wearing a hat. Then we call them every racist name in the book. Isn't that interesting? In this case, the video didn't tell the whole story. All the parties involved agree the high school student felt they were unfairly portrayed as villains, situation where they say they were not the provocateurs, which they were not. I would caution everyone passing judgment based on a few second video. Watch the longer video clips that are on the internet, as they show much different story than is being portrayed by people with agendas. Sandman said in a statement, "I am being called every name in the book, including a racist, and I will not stand for this mob-like character assassination." President Trump himself weighed with several tweets in some reports question whether the early criticisms of the students was warranted. The president tweeted Tuesday, in part, "Nick Sandman and the students of Covington have become symbols of fake news and how evil that can be." Now that encapsulates it perfectly. The SPJ and the Standard of Ethics does not... they basically failed it. They rushed the story. They didn't check facts. They didn't interview both sides. They only interviewed Nick Phillips. They left out important information. They didn't show the whole video. They went after children. They hurt. Wow. And it's also not being mentioned quite a lot. I've only seen Daily Mail actually covering this. That this kid and his entire family and friends are being doxxed, harassed, receiving death threats. His father's business was being attacked. Like, holy cow, like this breaks every part of the ethics standard of SPJ. It's amazing. With temperatures still running high, Covington Catholic High School's principal cancelled classes on Tuesday, citing safety concerns for students and staff. Isn't that interesting? Nobody talked about that there were basically concerns of safety for the students. After meeting with local authorities, we have made the decision to cancel school and be closed on Tuesday, January 22nd, in order to ensure the safety of our students, faculty and staff. Robert Rao, the school's principal, wrote in an email to parents and employees. All activities on campus will be cancelled for the entire day and evening. Students, parents, faculty, and staff are not to be on campus for any reason. Please continue to keep Covington Catholic community in your prayers. Wow. So they basically, I don't know what kind of threats that were sent in to Covington, but interesting that nobody's talking about this, and you have these leftists on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, other social media, just screeching. I mean, they called me a Nazi for pointing this out in an exchange on Twitter, which, yeah. These people don't want to listen to reason or truth, and just want to use this red hat and just label you racist. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and see you guys next time. Bye.